Hi, I'm Renee Smith.
And I'm Tammy Fellers, and we're math consultants at ESDAC in Hutchinson, Kansas.
So today, what are we going to do, Tammy?
So today we're here talking about understanding place value, and this first deck is from 0 to 999. Primarily geared towards second and third grade, because in the fourth grade we raise those standards and start going from 1,000 up. So this deck is going to just take us to 1,000, and we're really wanting to stress not just place. So many times a kid can go, well, that's ones, tens, hundreds, thousands. They can name them all, but they don't have the meaning of the value of that.
Yeah, I was going to say the difference here is that a lot of times the curricular resources that we've had talk about place, digit, and they really don't go into, so what's the value? And even more so, different representations of the value of that number. And so that's kind of where this deck is taking us.
Absolutely. So in the number 143, if we were to ask a student how many tens in that number, the answer is not 4.
Right.
It's 14. And so we really want to get kids to understand that it's not just the number in that place.
Right.
So we're going to start off here. We're going to show you 4 different types of problems that we have, or
4 different number sizes.
Number sizes, I guess, and some things you might do with that. So our first card here, every one of our cards, the very first one is asking the student to build that the most efficient way that they can.
So it's probably what we would consider to be the traditional approach. And so
Absolutely.
With my first number here, which is 40 on this card, 40 contains 4 tens and 0 ones in its most efficient method.
Absolutely.
But, Tammy.
So a student would record 4 tens, 0 ones is 40.
The value is 40. Okay, but on the second line, second row, it only gives me 3 tens here. So
if I have 3 tens, but I need to get to 40 and I'm not allowed to use any more tens, how am I going to do that?
that was 5. That was really good.
There we go.
Perfect.
Hey, wow.
There, you grab 10 automatically. Perfect.
So 3 tens and 10 ones is also 40.
Okay, so now you're trying to trick me on the next one, and I'm not going to actually build this one.
Okay.
But I'm going to use my paper here, and you've told me that I have 21s, which is this whole row of 10 and this whole row of 10 with the unit
Ones.
cube representation.
Absolutely.
And now I still have to get to 40. So, now I have to go to how many tens? So I would have 1 10 and 2 tens plus these 20 single units, and my total is 40 again.
So we would have 2 tens, 20 ones is still 40.
Uh-huh.
And the last one is, what happens if I have 0 tens?
Oh my gosh, if I have 0 tens, then that means I have to create this all out of ones. So I'm going to use 10, 20, 30, 40 of them to get 40. And you have to put 40 ones in your box to give me the total of 40. The nice thing here is, had we given you every different representation, if we had one more row here and had the 1 and 30, kids could really start to recognize the patterns within the place value system as well.
And on this last one that Renee did, some kid may have to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, all the way, and that's okay.
Right. If they're not there, if they haven't unitized the 10, that's what they're going to do is count by ones. So
now this next card, we started off with some of them as that ones place being 0. Now we've gone to the number of 65.
So now we have something, a value in both the tens and the ones place. Okay.
Other than 0. So again, that first one is I want to build that as efficiently as possible. So that would be 6 tens and 5 ones.
Perfect. Okay. Oh, you're trying to trick me again. So this time we have 2 tens on the chart, but I still have to get to 65. And so guess what? I'm not going to count out 45 of these, but I could, if I needed to. I could count by ones all the way up to 65. But I'm going to, again, think about tens here and think that if I have to have, I'm at 20, so I hold 20 in my head, 30, 40, 50, 60, 61, 62, 63, 64, 65. So it took me 10, 20, 30, 40, 45 of the ones.
Absolutely.
Okay.
You know, and another kid might still use these.
Sure.
And as they've progressed, go, I am not counting out 45 of those.
I hope not.
They might still put their 2 out there and
My
go,
40 and
10,
then 5.
I still need 45 more. And I know that's 10, 20, 30, 45. And some might still use these to build it without counting out their 45.
We hope so. Okay.
So the next one is, we don't know how many 10s, but we know that I have 35 ones.
Okay.
So
if you
again,
use your logic there.
if I use my logic, you know, a kid who isn't going to count out 35, they could, and then go 45, 55, 65. Oh, I need 3 more 10s, and so it would be 3 10s.
Okay, so we've got that. That's cool. But again, recognizing those patterns. If you had them create all of the combinations, the trouble is with creating all the combinations, that can go on and on forever as the numbers increase in size.
Absolutely. So the first part of this deck just stays with the 10s and the 1s column. Now we've moved to the hundreds columns as well.
I'm going to clean my board over here.
So yes, I'll clean mine as well. So this time our number is 120.
Yay, I get to do that one.
Okay.
100 is 1 hundreds flat and 2 10s, and I don't have any 1s.
Any one. So it'd be a 1, a 2, and a 0 in my chart.
Okay.
And now if we look at that next one, it says there's a 0 in the hundreds column and a 0 in the ones column.
Oh, I only get to you 10s, Rod. So I'm going to do my 10, 20, 30, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50, 60, 70, 80, 90, 100, 110, 120, which is the thing that you talked about before we started doing the cards, that even though there's a 2 in the 10s place in 120, it really takes 12 10s to get there.
Absolutely. The next one is, there's still not using a hundreds. How many 10s if you had 21s?
Well, here's my 21s, so I have to have 10 10s.
Absolutely. And we do a different combination of that.
Okay.
One of the things you might use to help students understand this is if you only had $1 bills, $10 bills, and $100 bills, what are the different ways you could make 120? And
so money works as well.
Money works as well. Yes, we got to take out those 5s and 20s for place value understanding of this.
Right.
And then we would have numbers that don't have a
The
zero
zero.
digit anywhere.
But they're going to work just like but now we're to the hundreds place. But it would work exactly the
Right.
same as when it was just 10s and 1s.
So if I had 168 as my number, I would get 1. Here, I'll get the 6 10s out.
Okay, and here's 8, maybe. I'm probably not as good as you. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Oh, I was off by 1. Darn.
Okay. And so they are going to build out the most efficient way.
Okay.
Now the next line says you have 100,
Oh, good.
3
But I only
10s.
have 3 10s. Oh, my goodness.
So how many 1s do you need? Oh, look,
30,
it's still built
38.
right here.
Yeah, it's
I
38.
need 38.
Uh-huh.
So 38 ones.
Perfect.
And with a couple more problems in that. And again, you can use shading, you can use your tables, which are always provided in the task sheet.
Right.
You'll again have the task sheet that gives you all the directions with possible student accountability and modifications that you can make a second time through.
As well as an answer key.
Yes.
We know that you know how to do them, but again, as always, for ease and efficiency in your station time or whole group time, however you choose to use this, you've got those answers available as well.
It also allows you to choose the cards you want based on just a quick glance of the answer sheet.
Right.
Thank you for joining us today.